Ha!
Yes, today we have the biker skin. This was one of the rewards for Horde mode.
Beards really do make a guy look like a completely different person, depending on the beard.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I did get the Horde mode stuff legit. It just required a lot of playing Horde mode, a lot more than I probably would have done on my own.
Vega has no control over
If you had let the culling continue, the human race you fight to protect would have survived. Now I will resurrect the icon of sin. He will devour Earth and leave your home world in ruins.
But why though?
Life on your planet shall never return. And this will be yet another world you brought to extinction.
Or you could just not.
Spite is a powerful drug.
Serve as your prison. With no power, you can do no more harm to our mission, and we may continue the work that must be done.
It was very weird to see demons in this place.
They just escaped from the demon prison
Right.
from downstairs.
It makes sense. It's very Luigi's Mansion. The electricity got out.
Yeah. But yeah, the con maker just does this out of spite. Like there's no reason she's forced to do this other than she's annoyed and wants to get back at you.
Right.
There's no power, but that door still opens.
There's auxiliary power.
And
know you had the demonic crucible.
this is what all of that from 2016 led up to.
The very power source you sought to eradicate from Earth is now what will help you save it.
That makes no sense. There's no Argent in there. That's just Wraith energy.
Right.
Only a Slayer's crucible blade can stop a Titan. You must get to the Sentinel city of Nabad to retrieve your crucible before it is too late. Without it, the Titan cannot be stopped.
Setting the portal to Nabad.
So yeah, that very important hanging MacGuffin and plot element from 2016, all it really does is ensure that the plot can continue after the con maker starts acting on her threats. Almost like this game isn't that invested in being a sequel to Doom 2016.
No. Also, it's just bad writing all around.
But hey, now the blue accents in the Fortress of Doom are red. That's kind of cool. And that was not there before.
Oh, I did not know that. I had to look it up online to know how to get to this stupid thing.
I mean, that target is so small.
And if you don't know it's a target, you might just think it's decoration.
Mm-hmm. Hey, they played the classic Doom door opening sound.
Oh, yeah. Said the guy who's never played Doom enough to actually know to agree with him.
But yeah, in part 2, I actually point out the exact place where that target is, and yeah, before this level, it's just not there.
So another thought. So is Samuel, like, remotely, like, his consciousness is still in the robot, or was it completely uploaded to this base along with Vega?
I believe the implication from the dialogue when we brought him in here was that he was uploading himself to the Fortress of Doom. But later, I know the only explanation is that he eventually gets inside the armor.
Okay.
But I don't think that happens yet.
Okay. I ask it because I think of Team 4-Star having multiple people in Piccolo's head. Just the fact that Vega and Hayden have to be very chummy right now.
So I always leave the Praetor tokens for last on the Sentinel batteries because they are by far the most plentiful, so why would I use up precious batteries for these when I could be getting, like, crystals?
I did not think about that, so I was kind of willy-nilly. I mean, once I got the 2016 Praetor Suit, I didn't care what I got.
I mean, I like the 2016 suit, but after Eternal, like, yeah, I know that it doesn't cover as much of his body anymore, and that's not as practical. But I mean, when you see those arms on the Eternal suit, the Praetor suit feels kind of scrawny in comparison. So that one is oddly situational for how expensive it is.
Hit and dash?
Yeah, the one that refills your dash when you see do a glory kill. It's occasionally useful, but it's not like faster weapon switch.
The only time it saved my butt is when I do a glory kill on a Cacodemon and use the Cacodemon basically to go stupid far.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's really only useful against aerial glory kill targets.
So I guess, can demons just, like, teleport at will?
That's a good question. I believe the implication from 2016 was that the instability between Hell and Mars meant that random warps just happened all the time, whether you were demon or human. But here, like, you know, I mean, the demons always were warping in right where you were and having combat encounters.
Right, because it almost implies, like, they're in some holding cells, and then Doom Guy shows up, and they're like, oh, it's time to fight, and they teleport into here.
Right, yeah, I'm not sure what exactly to think. It could be the Fortress of Doom is set up to just teleport them in, like mimic whatever they do normally to come in. I don't know.
Yeah, explaining video game logic is much like explaining, well, fictional characters fighting each other to the death and trying to justify who would win.
Yeah, it could just be that the whole warping thing is just a video game thing, and in reality they would have to be, like, released from pens.
Yeah. And we kind of see some pens areas, maybe. Like under that.
Certainly nothing like what we just saw in Sentinel Prime.
Yeah. Ha! That was good. Kicked him right off his thing.
Yeah, I tend to... I want to get... There's a lot of...
Glory kills.
Glory kill... What is that thing called again? I'm blanking.
Oh, on the Discord mod, yeah?
Yeah. Whatever. There's a lot of glory kills there that I try to get, and then I just keep getting the same ones over and over again.
I legit can't remember its real name.
All right, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that Terrace Nabad here is on Argent Denor because
Your first battle against the demons in this world, where the legend of the Slayer began.
this is where the demons first attacked Sentinel Society. So I'm pretty sure that that means that it has to be on Argent Denor, which means we're back in Hell, I think.
There's a line at the end of the second DLC that makes me believe that, despite what we've been talking about, that Argent Denor is not in Hell. But that's just a theory. A game theory.
I mean, we know it was in Hell at the end of 2016, and I don't think anything we did in that or this game would change that. So,
yeah, okay.
But maybe it was just a part of Argent Denor.
I'll ask ChatGPT and then it'll be wrong, but I'll feel better about it. Wow! Pop that guy like an egg in a microwave.
Blood Punch does a lot of damage.
This level doesn't look nearly as big. Zoomed
It's a
out like
sizable
that.
level.
It's big though.
Alright, what's behind door number 1?
Ah, a
Someone who's
Marauder.
not worth worrying about. Alright, so about the Marauder, I said I'd go into detail about him a little bit more, which already did. Honestly, I think the Caco Demon was a bigger problem there.
I was surprised that he didn't eat that grenade that first shot.
But yeah, so, oh, I'll let Hayden finish.
According to the Codex tablet, the city would have been lost had it not been for the arrival of the Slayer.
So yeah, so the tutorial message that pops up for Marauders, it says you gotta stay in just the right distance from him. You know, too close and he uses his shotgun. Too far away, he throws projectiles at you. Here's the thing, him shooting his shotgun at you, hit scan weapon, point blank. Yeah, that sounds like a bad time. Him throwing projectiles at you at long range. What's the problem? You've been dodging projectiles the whole game.
My problem is it possible to even damage him if he's not doing the green flash?
I don't think so. Well, I mean, you can cheese it. People have done some crazy things, but generally no. But when I saw that, I was like, okay. And when I got far away, he threw the axe at me, and I was able to dodge it. And it's like, okay, so I can stay far away. And then I noticed that when he does that, he drops his weapons, or he holsters them, and starts jogging up to you.
Oh.
Like, okay. And then, once he gets close, once he gets within range of, once he starts jogging for whatever reason, he does the a green flash attack. So I was like, oh, can I exploit this? I get out of range, he throws the axe, he jogs up, does the flash, and I blast the super shotgun in his face. I figured this out on my first playthrough.
I'm impressed because that's going to make my life so much easier now that I know what you just said. Also,
hello, Archie.
kill this guy with extreme prejudice. I hate the Archvile.
I know exactly where he spawns. I decided not to do it for this playthrough, but in my prep work, I was able to go straight up to where he was, take him out fast, and this encounter was over in like 15 seconds.
Wow.
It's most of the encounter just comes from the Archvile summoning things.
Honestly,
yeah, he spawns right up here.
And I continually forget that frag grenade stopped him from summoning.
Yep, if you falter the Archvile and he is in the middle of summoning, that summon will be cancelled. Darn it. Alright, another extra life down. But, you know, I have 29 of them.
That's cool. I love that you catch his throw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Marauder, like, if I were to say what the key to the Marauder is, even if you don't, like, know all of his ins and outs, it's experimentation. That's what the game is trying to get you to do, is to try things out, see how they work, and explore your options.
My mistake was just saying, well, damage is damage. I remember him saying that later in the level for some reason. So this room was a pain, but not because of the Archvile. Yes, that was bad, but figuring out how to get to some of these secrets for me, I had to look online several times. It was just kind of ridiculous.
I always seem to forget that one I was looking at over there. I'm like, oh, I know I've had trouble with this in the past, and I tried to commit to memory the solution, and I could never remember, and then it's like, oh, that's right, this statue can be broken.
The problem is the statue is the same color as the background, so it's kind of hard to find.
And I mean, it's already a statue with a kind of, a lot of lines to its design, so this crack doesn't stand out as much as it would on a flat wall.
Yeah. I can't say I understand why Sentinels just like to hang heavy stuff as decoration like that, but it was handy.
And there's our first mastery token.
Of which I will never use.
I mean, I figured they only have one use, and if I don't use them, then they're wasted. So I figured out exactly how many there are in the game. I'm not sure I did this on my first playthrough, but I certainly did it on all subsequent ones. I just figured out how many there are in the game, did as many masteries as I needed to until I... the only ones left, I could get all of them with the remaining mastery tokens, and then never did another mastery again.
I felt like if I used the coin, I didn't really earn it. Which, you know, is extremely OCD, but...
I figure the game's given it to me. It's... I'm sure that it came out of criticism of 2016, where it was like, some of these masteries are really annoying and involved me using weapons, not only that I didn't use, but in ways I never used them.
Yeah, like
and so this just allows you to skip those.
Right, on a second playthrough, I definitely used them, and I very well could have used at least one of them. It's just... I don't know. I was just like... I think another problem was I had pretty much grinded out the masteries to the point where I'm like, well... I don't even need these anymore.
I think that there are several weapon masteries that I have actually never done in this game, even with how many times I play it, just because by the time I get around to that weapon mods mastery, I'm already getting mastery tokens.
Yeah. Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. It's time to go back into the poop water.
Yeah, this was another somewhat controversial addition. Swimming. Where you can't use your guns. A lot of people were like, why did you put this in the game? It's almost like the purple goo. I don't know.
See, the purple goo I can
strange.
understand, but yeah. The swimming, it definitely, I'm like, wow. We're going full Metroid Prime right now.
I mean, in Metroid Prime, at least you were still, you still had your regular moveset in the water. You just
never
slowed
were
down.
swimming, yeah.
If anything, it's more like that. I think the first Devil May Cry had some weird swimming segments that didn't need to be there, because it was a converted Resident Evil game.
I hate when an enemy gets in the way of my glory kill.
Yeah, that happens a lot, especially as the game goes on.
Okay, this guy does a tremendous amount of damage.
He's an empowered demon. Ah, this room. This one's another one where it's like, wait, how do I get all this stuff? And again, it's a cracked statue.
Yep. I had to look up both.
You think that just opens up the cage? No. Gotta stand on this thing for some reason. Hi, Cybe. Wait, no, Cybe is the cyber demon. That's Cyber Mancubus. Never mind. And I forgot the AutoMap.
Oh.
Cut.
That's the only thing I was able to find easy.
Ooh, I messed up on the transition in the edit. I gotta fix that before we publish.
Oh. Neat. Door number 2.
More lore.
We must move. Quickly. There are those who would seek to stop this. I offer you a gift. Take it. It will give you strength. help you on your journey.
This is our very first look at Urdak technology.
And now, they will fear you.
Wow.
So that is how Doom Guy became the Slayer.
That sounded incredibly painful.
You know, that is not mentioned at any of the in any of the lore entries surrounding this machine, which is called the Divinity machine.
It's just you can hear Doom Guy just yelling, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure if that's painful or just exciting, like, you know, it's an adrenaline rush, you know?
Okay.
I prefer to think of the latter because, you know, not everything in Doom has to be like heavy metal grimdark stuff.
It's kind of like Captain America getting buff. But it's more like, I don't know, I want to say Captain Australia, since Australia feels like the hardcore version of everything.
Man, I just keep embarrassing myself this level. 2 lost lives.
Although I guess Wolverine would be Captain Australia. No, because that's Hugh Jackman. He'd be Captain Canada. This metaphor doesn't make any sense. I will stop.
And in true fashion, I use the Heat Blast and then don't follow up with the empowered shots from the plasma rifle. I just switch to a different weapon.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna be honest, the Heat Blast isn't that good, but the empowered shots, I love.
The Heat Blast can be useful in taking off weak points.
Okay. So I noticed that the chainsaw does give you a little bit of health in a pinch.
Okay. Oh yeah, right there.
I've used it many... Heck, I've used it more for that than getting ammo back in an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Which shows just how bad I am.
If it looks like it only happens if you're low. Oh, love this one.
Ugh. I've never seen
but
that one.
other glory kills regular glory kills always give you at least a little health.
Yeah. Yeah, you're only like 2 or 3 glory kills away from being full health.
Ah, that's right. There's a challenge to kill enemies while they're frozen in this level. I always remember that there's a BFG ammo refill up here. So, in a minute here, we're going to get to another Slayer gate, but in the meantime, I wanted to talk about the live service aspect to how this game's weekly challenges and cosmetics worked. Because I followed it very closely until after they stopped adding new content, because they, anyways, so it became just a thing where every week I would log in and do weekly challenges until I had gotten the all the stuff for that. Usually a month is when new cosmetics would come out. You'd have an event. And, I mean, I liked getting all the new stuff, but what it meant is that I never actually got away from this game for, like, over a year. To the point that I didn't even play Ancient Gods Part 1 and Part 2 when they came out. I never got to cool down from it, and, so I ordinarily would have done a second playthrough of this game, like, within... I don't know, 3 months of first playing it, but it took over a year. And if you look at this as a live service, this should tick all of the boxes. It's for me personally, it does away with a lot of things about live service design that I hate, and I feel sucks out all of the fun of video games. You know, there's no money involved. It's just cosmetic. You know, that old excuse. It's just weekly challenges. You don't even necessarily have to do multiplayer stuff, and yet I still hated it, and it made my relationship with this game a little strained for a long time because I could just never quite get away from it. You know, it just confirmed to me that I have absolutely no interest in a game where I just like, this is my game and I play it like forever, you know, for months and months.
Right.
I do not understand how people can just play thousands of hours of Destiny for years on end and not get horrendously bored and frustrated. I can't do it.
Yeah, so I actually have a pretty good comparison to that. And it's not going to be what you think it is. So, and this isn't to throw shade at anybody, this is just a casual observation of human biology. So, you know how some people, oh, I got type 2 diabetes, I gotta be careful, I'm gonna die, and they're not, like, gigantic. And then you have this several hundreds of pounds, like, just nearly half a ton, like, people. Some people cannot get diabetes. Like, they just can't. And in that same sense, I feel like there's some people out there that cannot get burned out. I don't know what kind of genetics are in their brain to let them do that, but I'm almost jealous that I could have such simple joy and not be discontent in life with such simple markers.
I am very happy that I am not jealous. I'm happy that I'm not affected by that, because we are seeing what is going on with live service design in the industry, and I do not want to be yet another mark.
Because honestly, I've played games where it becomes a chore to play, where I openly resent the game, and it's just like, ugh. I mean, luckily I've had enough wherewithal these days to just, like, not train my OCD, where I'm like, I have to do this even though I hate it.
I have nothing but disgust for a game that would clearly, obviously manipulate me into playing it.
Oh yeah,
like with daily login bonuses and that kind of thing.
Yeah, the worse the industry's gotten, the more immunized I've been to that, because I'm just like, this goes against everything I love about video games.
Absolutely. And like, even as a kid, before I, long before I actually had before any of it was this bad, or before I was conscious of all of this stuff, I still, I tried out the occasional MMO, and I played it for like 2 weeks and then put it down because I couldn't be bothered to be interested in the grind and the repetition and the lack of forward progress. And that I knew that there was no real ending or resolution coming. It was just a treadmill.
Right.
What I'm saying is that I hope that Doom: The Dark Ages does not do the same thing again, even if it means that we don't get nearly as many cosmetics, because who cares? Because it's a first-person game anyway.
Like, here's the thing. I am more than happy to have lots of unlockables. That's fine. But when you make those have to be online, like, if your game doesn't work nearly 100% online, you have failed in my eyes.
Yeah.
And that's a little harsh, maybe, but, like, there's a reason that split screen couch co-op multiplayer, or, anything couch, is so beloved. Hell, even what do you want to call it? Oh yeah, local, like, LAN parties, like, those are great. Like, your game should not need all online to work. However, I do miss the Halo 3 days. Master Chief Collection definitely brought that back. I just hate that it kind of led me down the primrose path of the live service, like, slog. Because that is a game where I got sick of utterly. because I just wanted the chibi Cortana faceplate. But at what cost? Yes, I became disgustingly good at the game, but at what cost?
Yeah, I think the thing that truly sealed the coffin for me was when I played Paladins for a little while, and I got up to, on the free version of the Battle Pass, until I got I think an emote, a free emote, like which was the only decent thing on the free tier, and it was an emote for a character I most definitely didn't play, and I was like, well, that was horribly pointless and wasted, and no, I'm not going to pay you money so that I can get stuff that I want. I'm done. I don't know, it feels like so many people playing video games are looking for the forever game, the game that they can just play and they never have to buy another video game ever. They'll just pay this one game all of their money for years, and I don't know why so many people are trying to find that game instead of being like, I'm gonna play like a lot of games and like a lot of stuff and have a lot of variety in my life.
It stinks because you have the worst of... Well, actually, I don't know what a good phrase is for this, but you have those people that want the forever game, that play the game, and then you want the executives that want infinite all of the money from the one game forever for all time. And it's this perfect storm of the worst habits of both sides can be just, you know, fully delved into.
I am incredibly encouraged every single time a live service comes out and horribly tanks and fails, which is happening a lot these days. Like, I am one of the biggest fans of Rocksteady's past work of the Arkham series you will ever find, and I could not have... I just about danced when I saw the horrific numbers of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, because I knew that every single failure means that another one of these is less likely.
Right. Meanwhile, and I hate to be a downer, but one of the worst examples of the industry being just absurdly broken is the, oh gosh, come on, you can remember the name of this game. Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush Hi-Fi Rush not only did everything right, it exceeded expectation, it was a diamond, and they threw it in the trash. It's like, you people really don't want money. Like, you want the illusion of all of the money. Anyway, this cutscene's cool.
The Titan will rise again.
We're not quite to the cutscene yet, but yes, like, with Hi-Fi Rush, they made a game that made a lot of money, that brought them prestige. Good games that are successful aren't enough anymore. The industry demands all of the money.
And even further,
modest success is not enough anymore, which it points to me to a broken industry. And if people are saying, well, we got to pay $70 now in order for the industry. No, we don't. It's not my job to fix a broken industry by paying it more money. It's the industry's job to provide a product that I feel is worth the price, and it is repeatedly not doing it. And if it is incapable of doing it, then it deserves to fail.
Yeah. And here's the insane part, and I might have to complete this thought in a second, because this is the other thought. Or, I was curious about this. So this was yours, right? Like, I'm sorry, this was Doom Guy's, right?
Yes, he embedded the Crucible in the Titan.
Right. So
it's what keeps it down.
What is happening here? Because he broke the blade off. So what's happening to the Titan?
I guess visually it's just establishing that, yes, it's still down. That the Titan won't rise again, even though the handle is out. I guess the whole like vein thing is just because the blade moved a little.
I see.
But the point is that without a Crucible blade embedded in the Titan, it will start moving again. So he just pulls out the handle, and then now he's got to get a new blade.
Right, because I thought maybe that this was the icon of sin, and that us doing this revived it, and then we'd have to fight it again.
No, this is just one of many
I
Titans.
see.
The Icon of Sin is a much more serious boy.
It's a colossal dude. Oh, that was a cool head roll on the stairs. But yeah, I know I listen to Super Castle Beast a lot, but they have a good point, and I feel like this isn't a conspiracy because we saw all the evidence to it. Hi-Fi Rush was planned to be slaughtered from the beginning, and because they couldn't deviate from their path, despite all the success, they had to still kill it. However, now that's a little conspiratorial, but the other part I agree with wholeheartedly is that the successful game that is not a live service prompts a studio to make a sequel, which costs money, and we can't have that. We'd rather have the game that we update forever. So, you're punished for success. You're punished for failure. The only solution is straightforward, slow drip mediocrity.
It's got to hit a breaking point. Like,
We're so close.
the industry's obsession with turning everything into a gray sludge tube has to end at some point.
Right.
And I feel as though we are seeing it. We are seeing big, expensive, lavish, huge live services by just like, it seems like every month they're coming out and they are failing horribly, and everybody's losing money and everybody's getting laid off, which is terrible.
Yeah.
But if these games don't stop failing, then this is gonna keep happening,
Yeah.
and people are still gonna be in companies where they are forced to make sludge.
I like to think of it as, you know the game Jenga, right?
Yeah.
It's like Jenga, except it's even worse than Jenga, because it's like you're playing Jenga with those wafer cookies, and the executives keep eating almost the entirety of the wafer cookies, leaving very little left to make this crumbling tower. Also, they're peeing on the tower, making the wafer cookies soggy. Sorry, that's gross. It's just... it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, you know, it's something that I've noticed with Disney, even though they're not really in the game business. With Disney and their parks and their movies, it's like someone got in charge and realized, hey, wait a second, I looked underneath our castle and there's all of these bricks there.
Yeah.
We can sell these and make a whole bunch of money and ensure that we reach our quarterly profits. It's perfect. And then they do that, and they come up with like all sorts of industry-defining innovations in brick selling.
Yeah.
And then they realize, and they either don't know or don't care that they are ripping out the foundation
Yeah.
that generations of people
Boom.
before them built.
And here's the craziest part. This analogy works great, because you could say, what are you doing? Like, we were a brick-making company. We were a brick-making dynamo, and you shut down the brick factories. Like, so it's just, and we got it right over there. A little bit of money, we could reopen the brick factories, and by brick factories, I mean, you know, hand-drawn and, you know, good, like, CG movies, but nope. But yeah, it's a flaming mess, and I hope to live to see the rise of good again. I feel like we're in the second animation and game industry dark age, which is weird because the indie scene has never been better on both accounts.
I don't want to see a world where all of the stuff made by actual bigger companies is just horrendous trash, and the only good games are being made by indies who actually care and have to survive on ramen. Like, I don't want that to be the case.
Now, it's not an indie, independent, but also, I'm trying to... There's something I wanted to mention in the level, but I'm not sure if we already passed it, so I'll check in a second here. Ooh, nice upgrade. But, yeah, SPA that made Klaus on Netflix, those guys, those should be the next Disney, because they're doing things I didn't even think was remotely possible. For like
glitch productions on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Like I didn't think that indie animation was capable of things like this.
It's great. So I have a lot of hope that they'll rise up to be the standard and replace the old guard if that need be.
Or at the
I love
very
the old
least,
guard. It sucks that they're dying.
At the very least, get the old guard to realize,
Right.
oh wait, people actually want this.
It's like when Don Bluth kicked Disney's ass and started the Renaissance. Of course, now Don Bluth is a little old in the tooth, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, before in that
But
back
hey,
room,
at least Nintendo in all of their problems, they are still making,
they're still
good
making games. They just need to treat their fans with a modicum of respect.
Yeah, I mean, for every, Metroid Dread or whatever we get, them shutting down an awesome fan project for no good reason.
Shutting down sheet music, fan art. It's getting ridiculous.
I think they're hitting some kind of breaking point too. Their takedown of Yuzu has emboldened them, and it can only lead to them making some sort of huge mistake, powered by hubris.
Yeah.
It'll happen eventually, but for a while, I think we are going to be dealing with litigious Nintendo.
They're not quite bad enough to sandblast the Spider-Man effigy off the dead child's grave, like Marvel did, but they're getting there. Anyway, I wanted to say a couple rooms back, when you were killing that paint elemental, that's where I ran out of ammo and chainsaw, and I was screwed, so I had to just dash punch my way out. It was bad. Granted, I probably could have saved myself if I danced around until the chainsaw dropped, but they were bigger demons, so I was, like, screwed. Just one pip wouldn't do me. But I made it. Ugh. I made it.
Can't say I ever had that happen, although, well, maybe there's been a couple of times where I suddenly found myself, I have, like, no ammo. But in those cases, there was usually at least something around to chainsaw.
Yeah. It very well could have been something to chainsaw. I just couldn't recognize if it was a big demon or a little demon, but I should have been trying.
Yeah, they usually ensure that
and your grenades
zombies at least get constantly spawned, especially once you get low.
And yes, the grenades do respawn. It's just I was also in between grenades. It was a perfect storm. Also, that throne is that a throne? It's really cool in here.
I believe that they use that for a podium, which I think I showed off last time at Sentinel Prime.
Right.
All right, I'm so proud of myself. This was the very first time I got this particular secret on the first try.
I want to say it was at least 20 or 30 tries for me.
Oh, it was... I would not be surprised if the first time I did it, it took me a dozen tries to get this one.
It's bad. It's bad because even with the precision scope to try to plan where you're jumping, it's still not a good view of where you're trying to go.
I think if what it is that you can't double jump if you reach like terminal velocity, which is unintuitive. Because I think I kept trying to double jump to cancel momentum around where it was and get my bearings, and it kept not working.
I think that might be the problem I was jumping into. Because I tried rubbing against the wall even.
Yeah, I think that was what I kept doing. I was like, I'll just rub against the wall and whatnot. The problem there is that you can't see the exact place you're supposed to be going, so instead fall from far away and do one dash to cancel momentum, and then do the second one to bust through the wall.
Right. Now, counter-argument, or not counter-argument, but counter-plan I just came up with right now. There is a rune to slow you down. Slow down time. I feel like that one would come in handy there.
Probably would.
Wish I would have thought of it. Oh well. Boom! You know, it's interesting. Even though time and distance separate us right now slightly because of latency, we started this video at the same time. So, in that sense, we're kind of perfectly synced up despite lag, which is funny to think about.
Yeah,
because when I said boom to that grenade going off, it would have happened exactly the same time for you.
Yeah, that's the way we sync up our video. In real time, it's probably slightly off, but given lag, it ends up being about right.
Yeah, I had to fix my internet the other day because we were getting significant lag, And that was
Yeah,
a
we
whole
had
fun
to-
thing.
Yeah, we recorded one part where the lag was higher than normal, and I wonder if you guys can tell which one it was.
I literally had the moment where, like the Vinny Vine Rising, where it's like, do not presume there to be a problem with your internet, sir. Have a good day. Bye-bye. I will go now eat a sandwich. Like, I was like, hey, could you guys come out? We have outages pretty often. And then they're like, okay, yeah. And then they're just badgering me like, we see it's fixed. Do you want us to cancel? I'm like, well, I'd like for you guys to still come out because it goes down when it rains. But yeah, they peer pressured, I don't know, peer pressure's the wrong word, badgered me into canceling. And then not a day later, my internet goes out and I'm like, you son of a... I'd swear, I'm getting off Xfinity as soon as I have a good paying job. I'm so sick of them.
We are getting fiber installed where we live, so competition, I believe, is coming to the internet market where we live, which can
Thank
only be a good
goodness.
thing.
Well, on that note, this moment is very cool.
It is, yeah. And another mastery token.
Is that the last question mark? No. Oh,
Yes,
it
it
was,
is.
yeah. Well, this part had surprisingly heavy topics.
I mean, we got to run out of stuff to talk about the game
I
itself
mean,
sometime.
sure, it's like I've said, you and I could run a podcast, and here we are. We did it. I made it happen. Well, you
I mean,
made
it started from me talking about
Okay, I mean, you
the
happened.
weekly challenges.
That's true. This is cool. So, what is this blade made out of? Pure Argent energy?
I'm pretty sure it's Argent, yeah.
I'm sure you want to try out your weapon first before we leave.
Whoa, this is really far down.
Superhero landing.
Oh, they're hard on your knees. I've heard that, well, in the first game you had the impact compensation. Oh my gosh. The impact compensation thing that would pop up. And then, that's not in this game, I noticed.
No, because I think in 2016 you actually could die from fall damage.
Right.
In this game, I don't think you can, so they just didn't even think about it. Also, impact compensation, that was like a sci-fi HUD thing popping up, and they don't want to be sci-fi in this game.
And I do like the idea of Doomguy just tanking terminal velocity falls.
So right there, if you look at it, I did one kill with the Crucible, and for some reason, it ate up all 3 pips.
Oh, that's terrible. I have to go back and analyze the footage.
Like, and it doesn't get rid of all of them all at once. It ticks down. It's weird.
Huh. I was always afraid of accidentally hitting a small demon with one of these, because that's a waste in my eyes.
It is, yeah. You have to watch your shots, and oftentimes you'll swing and it doesn't quite work, and it takes like a second. It takes a second for it to reposition, and then it triggers. There's a tiny bit of jank with it.
Yeah. I know I need to clean up my language, but fuck that archvile. That was good to see.
Yeah, they pop in almost all of the really troublesome ones that you can take out in one go.
Yeah.
The only one that was missing was a tyrant.
My only complaint with the Crucible is that you have to pick up things to recharge it, much like the BFG. And it would be nice if there was a way to just have it recharge.
Yeah, they in the DLC they did that basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we now have pretty much our entire toolkit, like complete, other than the last of the masteries and whatnot.
I was thinking, because I was hoping we'd get the Crucible way earlier, because we got it at the end of 2016. And I really wish you could take it with you into other levels that are earlier. Can you?
Oh, the Crucible, yeah, you go back to previous levels and you still have it.
Yeah, you just can't recharge it.